Hello violinists, welcome to Pro Strings. I'm Henriette and today we're playing O Little Town of Bethlehem from 101 Violin Christmas Songs by Hal Leonard. And this is not an O Little Town as you know it, so it's a bit different, but nevertheless it's very pretty. Because the notes are not that challenging in this piece. We're going to be talking about style a little bit later on, but let's first play it through, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Just hold it here for a moment. And you will have noticed that I started up bow at the start. I started in the middle of the bow and I played towards the heel, up bow. And then whenever you come across a set of 2 quavers or 2 eighth notes, why don't you slur them, because the bowing then comes out much more beautifully. Now whenever we play an up bow, and sometimes you have an up bow as well after a long note, if I have this, make sure you save the bow a little bit on this long note, because the B that follows, the up bow that follows, is not very strong, because our accent is going to fall on the next first beat of the bar. So be very careful if you play a very long B here, the dotted meaning, that you don't bash out on this note here, you see. So be very light on this 4th beat of this bar, because your accent should be on the first beat of the bar rather than on the 4th beat. And that is what I mean by we're going to be talking about style. It's very easy to play like this, and that is too loud on the first note. So start a bit nearer the middle of the bow and then light on this first beat. Now be careful that you don't go too loud on this note, but now you want to go strong here. And you might as well save this bow here, and that then prevents you from playing too loudly on this next beat. Now I'm playing 2 notes up bow here, and I do that because I want to be down bow again on this long B that follows here. Save the bow now. Stronger here. And now we're going to go into the 3rd position, 2nd finger on the A string. So if I play you the last phrase again, which starts on the 2nd note of the 1st bar of the 3rd line. So this is the last 4 bars. Two now. Of course there's nothing wrong with playing it on the open E string, in case you haven't yet learned the 3rd position. But if you have, give it a go right here so you practice it, as well as playing it much more beautifully, because it's just that little bit mellower if you can play this ending here on the A string and the D string, you see. Now if you can play vibrato, go all out here on the last note. And you want to play that diminuendo, and that's another style aspect. Just play these long notes slightly softer as you progress. Right, you've got a really polished last note. That's always lovely. Now, if you want to be super technical and you've gone into the third position, you notice that the penultimate bar has got a D followed by a G. And I can play these two notes with one finger on two strings. Look, I can play two. And I can place my index finger in between the A and D strings, can you see? So I catch both strings at the same time, which means that I don't have to hop across with my finger. If I do this, and I place my finger in between the two strings, I can connect the D and the G up, so I haven't got a gap between them. Listen carefully. Okay, if I hop across, I have a tiny moment's silence between the D and the G. Look, I'll show you this. Now, you might think, oh, I love that, and then you deliberately put it in. But in general, I would say you want to try and connect your notes and play them as legato as you possibly can, as smoothly as you possibly can. And you can create that effect by playing one finger on two strings. Let's play that ending once more. 2, 3. Okay, very good. So now we've got a rough outline. It is already beginning to sound very stylish, so well done. And now I want you to go one step further, and I want you to think, okay, if I start on an upbeat at the start, might it be that every phrase of this piece starts on an upbeat, and might I phrase this piece in such a way that I start on the fourth beat of the bars? I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll just play the beginning for you. Split this 4-bar phrase in half and just hold on to that upbeat A at the end of bar 2. Now this is a personal choice for you to make. I'm not going to tell you you must do it like that or you must not do it like that. Some people might say, oh no, I won't do that because my phrases get way too short. I'd much rather have 4-bar phrases than 2-bar phrases. And that is a totally valid argument. So if you are in that camp, fine, that is a way of playing it. However, if you are in the other school of thought and you think, oh actually if I sing this beat, da da dee 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 dee, da dee 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 dee, like that, you would breathe just before the last note in the second bar. And that is also a totally valid way of playing. And what I want you to achieve in your playing is that you start to make musical choices like that. So what do you like better? You might play it a few times over, one way around or the other way around, 4-bar phrases or 2-bar phrases, and you will find out what you like best. And in that way, I would encourage you to make this music your own and give it your own interpretation. And that's not only a very nice thing to do, just a nice sport to work out how exactly you want to shape the phrases, but also it makes your music much more individual. I'm not a teacher who is going to tell you you must do it this way. Of course, I'll give you some guidance as to what style is good and what style is not to be recommended, but it's very nice if you become a player who can make those musical choices. So, whatever way you are playing, and I'd like you to write about that, perhaps in the comment section down below this video, what camp are you in? What would you like to do? Do you feel more like 4-bar phrases or 2-bar phrases? But when you make your own choices, it's going to be a really nice personal performance. So with that, I'm going to leave you to experiment with this piece a little bit more. When it comes, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.